YouTube, fuck going on YouTube, man? It's your boy Emery back on the fucking video, back with another motherfucking reaction. Listen, man, y'all know I come with the dopest reactions, man. You know what I'm saying? Real trench born baby, no cap. Anyways, when I road to 800 subscribers, man, you know I'm not gonna keep y'all here too long. I gotta show y'all this little sandwich thing right here. You know, really cheap, thick motherfucker. Gotta show y'all that. Without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video because you know I don't do long intros. That's not my thing. That's not my type of vibe. And we're gonna do this shit.
When you drive across America, some dangers are not marked on any sign.
Facts.
You are cruising down a 2-lane highway, the sun is dipping below the horizon, and your gas light flickers on. The nearest town looks peaceful enough, rows of quiet porches, a sleepy main street, maybe even a historic town square. But in these places, silence is not a sign of peace. It is a warning. We tend to think danger is loud, the sirens in Chicago, the headlines in Detroit. But the real nightmares often come from places you have never heard of. Small towns torn apart by economic collapse and generational trauma, where stopping at a gas station becomes a calculated risk. From the rusting industrial skeletons of Bessemer to the art-filled shadows of Taos, we are counting down 10 towns so volatile that do not stop is not just advice, it is a survival strategy. By the time we reach number 1, you will realize that a town name can be its greatest lie. Number 10, Bogalusa, Louisiana.
I believe
the prophecy in a name.
I've never really focused on
a lot of y'all don't know. Bro, shut your lame ass up. A lot of y'all don't know,
sits
bro.
In the pine forest.
Bogalusa, they get down over there. And it's really small. It's a really small place, but they get down over there.
Forests of southeastern Louisiana, less than an hour from the Mississippi state line. The name translates to dark water in Choctaw, and it feels prophetic. Beneath the southern charm of the pine forests lies a landscape defined by economic collapse. Bogalusa was once a company town built around a massive paper mill that employed most of the population. When the mill downsized and lost its role as the town's primary economic engine, the local economy unraveled. What followed wasn't renewal, but prolonged stagnation. Today, Bogalusa combines a poverty rate of 31%, a per capita income barely clearing $20,000, and violent crime rates exceeding 1,100 incidents per 100,000 residents, more than 3 times the national average.
Y'all don't know who the rapper Jada Youngin is? That's actually where he was born at. Facts.
It has earned a grim nickname among locals, Bogalusa. Locals do not describe Bogalusa as chaotic. They describe it as tense. Gas stations close early. Many operate behind heavy security bars and reinforced storefronts, or sit completely abandoned. At night, large parts of the town go dark, not because of curfews, but because there is no reason to stay open. This is not a place where danger announces itself loudly. It is a place where opportunity quietly disappeared and nothing meaningful replaced it. Number 9, Tulia, Texas. When the law becomes the threat. Tulia sits on the high plains of the Texas Panhandle, surrounded by farmland and open sky. It is small, isolated, and easy to miss if you were just passing through. But Tulia became nationally known for a reason that had nothing to do with crime rates or poverty. In 1999, nearly 10% of the town population was arrested in a single drug sting. The charges were severe, the sentences were long, and almost all of the accused were black in a town that was overwhelmingly white.
Damn,
the entire case.
How many fucking handcuffs they put on that man? What the fuck?
The sentences were long, and almost all of the accused were black
hold on,
in a town that was.
See this. 1, 2, 3. But they got 4 sets of handcuffs on that man. But they got 4 sets of handcuffs on. Bro, they wrong.
Overwhelmingly white. The entire case rested on the testimony of one undercover officer. No recordings, no video, no physical evidence. For years, the conviction stood. Families were torn apart. People lost jobs, homes, and decades of their lives. Eventually,
you could look at that one dude and tell that he was racist, man. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at the way he fucking look. Oh, never mind. I can't fuck.
Case unraveled. The officer was discredited. The convictions were overturned, and the state of Texas issued pardons. But by then, the damage was permanent. Today, Tulia is quiet, almost unnervingly so, not because crime is rampant, but because trust never fully returned. This is not a place where travelers are warned about gunfire or robberies. It is a place where the legal system itself once became the threat. Gas stations here do not feel dangerous. They feel watched. In towns like Tulia, the fear is not about what might happen on the street. It is about what can happen when the people meant to protect you decide you do not belong.
And see, bro, that's kind of fucked up, bro, in a way, because you got motherfuckers who really confide in the law. You feel me? Like, it's motherfuckers out here who really confide in the law, and they look at the law as these great people. You know what I'm saying? They look at people. Oh my gosh! If you don't shut the hell up. Hey, look at these folks that's like in these damn law enforcement and shit. It's like great ass people. The whole time, bro, these people are terrible. Like, these folks in real life do anything, bro, to fuck you over. Real life do anything just to hurt you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of fucked up in a way. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Number 8, Stillwell, Oklahoma. Violence in strawberry country. Stillwell calls itself the strawberry capital of the world. This is a town of fewer than 4,000 people that markets itself as an adorable, fruit-filled slice of Americana. But look past the annual festival brochures, and you will find enough violent crime to keep a CSI team busy year-round. In 2023, the town violent crime rate was over 5 times higher than the national average. 1,400 incidents per 100,000 people, with a poverty rate soaring over...
Bro, just look around, bro. This shit just look nice as hell. But you know what, though? I want to see if I can spot some black people. I feel like this person over here is black. I feel like here's another N-word right here. I feel like there's a lot of N-words around here. Whenever you get a lot of black people together, you know, it ain't nothing good coming from a lot of black people together. I'm sorry. I love my black community, bro. But ain't nothing good coming together whenever you got a whole lot of black people congregated together. Like, that shit just bound for something to fuck up.
40%. This is what happens when you gut social services and ignore economic decay for decades. Crime blooms faster than the fruit. Stillwell sits in Adair County, one of the poorest regions in the state, plagued by a complex history of neglect and broken promises. Behind the scenes, local law enforcement is underfunded and struggling to manage meth trafficking routes and intergenerational gang activity. Drive through on a summer afternoon and you will see porches, flags, and sleepy dogs. But locals in Facebook groups offer more honest travel advice. Do not stop. Do not even slow down. It is the ultimate American small-town paradox charm up front and total chaos behind the curtain. Number 7, Hamtramck, Michigan. Diversity in a pressure cooker.
Michigan like that.
Hamtramck is completely surrounded by Detroit. It is one of the smallest cities in Michigan by area, but one of the most densely populated. Within its 2 square mile border, 28,000 people are packed into one of the highest population densities in the state. That density is the spark. When you compress poverty, underemployment, and cultural friction into such a tight space, tension doesn't diffuse, it collides. While Hamtramck's overall crime rate sits near the national average, its violent crime rate runs higher, driven largely by robberies and aggravated assaults. For decades, Hamtramck was defined by the auto industry. Immigrant workers built lives around factory shifts, neighborhood bars, and tight-knit streets. As the old auto-era factories declined and lost their central role, the city didn't disappear. It transformed. Today, Hamtramck is one of the most culturally diverse cities in the United States, with large Muslim and immigrant communities from South Asia, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. That transformation saved the city economically, but it also created friction. In Hamtramck, you learn situational awareness early. You learn which streets feel alive and which ones feel like they are watching you back. It is a place where you can get world-class kebabs at midnight and still instinctively decide that this is one gas station you are not stopping at. The rent might be low, but between the car break-ins and the constant stress tax of living in a pressure cooker, you have to ask yourself, is the savings worth the price of your peace?
Oh my. Oh my gosh, bro. Wait, we don't care about this, bro.
Should we tell him? So bad.
Number 6, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Beauty with a bruise. Pine Bluff sits along the Arkansas River,
I've heard about
southeast of
this
Little
shit before.
Rock. It was once one of the most important industrial cities in the state. Timber, agriculture, and manufacturing built this town. For a time, they sustained it. When those industries declined, Pine Bluff did not slowly fade. It dropped. Population fell sharply. Jobs disappeared faster than new ones could replace them, and entire neighborhoods were left behind. Today, Pine Bluff violent crime rate is approximately 1,650 per 100,000 residents, nearly 5 times the national average. This is not a town suffering from a temporary spike. It is a city suffering from the long-term erosion of its tax base and the flight of its industrial heart. With a poverty rate of 37% and shrinking public safety budgets, the tension here has become a permanent fixture of the landscape.
Ooh,
Locals have developed
crazy.
a grim sense of humor about it, often joking that sirens have replaced cicadas as the city unofficial evening soundtrack, but the reality is far from funny.
That shit just
There
look
is a
dead.
firm consensus among residents on where not to walk and especially where not to stop after the sun goes down. You can stand by the Arkansas River at sunset and feel the warmth of the breeze, but when you hear that distant, familiar siren, you realize you are witnessing beauty with a bruise. Number 5, Wilmington,
Delaware.
Delaware. Division behind
Boy, that
glass
get
walls.
crazy in Delaware.
Wilmington sits between
Bro.
Philadelphia and Baltimore, positioned on one of the wealthiest corridors in the United States. On paper, it should be thriving. Wilmington is home to major banks, corporate headquarters, and some of the most business-friendly laws in the country. Billions of dollars move through this city every day. But very little of that wealth stays. Just blocks from glass office towers are neighborhoods that have struggled with poverty, underfunded schools, and persistent violent crime for decades. Despite its small population, Wilmington homicide rate has repeatedly ranked among the highest per capita in the nation. The deception here is what makes it so unsettling. You can stand in the shadow of $1 billion banking headquarters and be less than a mile away from streets where the violent crime rate has historically tripled the national average.
That's crazy.
In Wilmington, wealth does not trickle down, it is walled off. When you pull off the I-95 for gas, do not let the corporate logos on the horizon fool you into a false sense of security. In Wilmington, the danger is not hidden in the woods. It is baked into the very concrete of the city divide. It is a place where the suit
And you
and the
gotta
hollow
look
point...
around, bro, and just see so much poverty, bro. That shit crazy. Like, everybody all together and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then just look at the cars.
live on the same
Get
street,
in
and
'em.
only one of them is protected by a glass wall.
I bet you that 392 right there is stolen.
Number 4, Bessemer, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
The
I ain't
ghost-
gonna lie. As a motherfucker that's from Alabama, as somebody that's from Alabama, Bessemer get crazy. They gets cracking down there. And I don't want to. Hey, listen. I ain't no street nigga. You feel me? I don't want to experience it, bro. That ain't me. That ain't my playground. You feel me? My playgrounds is with the rich people and with the streamers and entrepreneurs and shit. My playground ain't with the street niggas. Feel me? That's what them niggas are. Them niggas right there. Them niggas is ruthless, motherfucking rabid animals. They do not give a fuck. They do not give a fuck. Like when I tell you they don't give a fuck, nigga, they don't give a fuck. Bruh, nigga, they don't care if your watch is fake. If you flashing it too much, they will take your shit. They don't care if you riding in a Honda Accord 09, bro. They will take that shit. Or if they want it, bro, you gonna give it up. You ain't got no choice. And you don't give it to them, bro. They gonna do something to you, bro. Real, like,
of the American dream.
I'm cool on it.
If you want to see the literal ghost of the American dream, go to Bessemer. Once a booming center of the iron and steel industry, this city didn't just decline, it hollowed out. Today, the landscape is dominated by massive, rusted industrial skeletons that loom over residential blocks like prehistoric monsters. Bessemer isn't just dangerous for its size, it's often overlooked in national conversations, despite posting some of the highest per capita violent crime rates in the country. While nearby
Birmingham is
Birmingham
crazy.
draws the headlines, Bessemer quietly reports levels that translate to more than 33 violent incidents per 1,000 residents,
That's crazy.
roughly a 1 in 30 annual risk. Here, violence isn't a breaking story. It's the low-frequency hum of daily life, as persistent as the rust on the old furnaces. Bessemer sits just southwest of Birmingham, close enough to a major metro area to feel its pull, but far enough away to absorb its problems. Once known as the Marvel City, it was built on steel and heavy industry. For decades, those jobs defined daily life and sustained the local economy. As that industrial base eroded and lost its central role, recovery never fully arrived. Poverty still hovers near 30%, and with a weakened tax base, the city's infrastructure has become a maze of potholed streets and flickering lights. What makes Bessemer so unsettling is its post-industrial madness, a community built for many times its current population, leaving those who remain to live in a city that feels far too large and far too empty. Number 3, Oak Haven, Tennessee. Logistical
Tennessee.
hell. Most people think of
that's right
Memphis for
outside
its
of
music or
Memphis.
its barbecue, but a few miles south of the neon lights lies Oak Haven, a place that defines logistical hell. This isn't a town with a quaint main street. It's a neighborhood literally trapped between the world's busiest cargo airport and a sprawling network of interstate truck routes. In Oak Haven, the danger isn't hidden in the dark. It's illuminated by the harsh, yellow glow of industrial floodlights that never turn off. Oak Haven is a statistical nightmare hidden in plain sight. It is consistently ranked as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in a city that is already one of the most violent in America. Here, the violent crime rate doesn't just climb, it spikes.
Bruh, and you hear about
We
Oak
are
Haven
looking
a lot.
at a community where
that's on the
poverty
south side
sits
of
at
Mississippi.
nearly 30%, and the infrastructure is designed for moving freight, not for protecting people.
This season,
Oh
you've got
my
places to
gosh,
go,
bruh.
people to
It's
see,
always
and
an
things
ad,
to do.
like,
You may have already gotten
add
vaccinated.
this, add that. How
The
about
transition
you add
from
my
a shipping hub to a
figure
crime scene
in- I don't
happens
know,
in the
bruh.
blink of an eye. What makes Oak Haven so unsettling is its non-place energy. It's an endless grid of distribution centers, weed-choked lots, and residential blocks where the air smells like jet fuel and exhaust. This is a place where the world's goods pass through at high speed, but the people living there are stuck in a cycle of generational neglect. The violence here feels mechanical robberies, carjackings, and assaults that happen under the constant, deafening roar of planes overhead. If you pull off for gas near the airport, you'll notice that nobody lingers. The gas stations are fortified, and the vibe is one of urgent defensive survival.
That's outside
It's a
of
place
Memphis, bruh. They
where
don't
the
bullshit.
constant noise of the world moving past you only highlights how forgotten you are. In Oak Haven, you aren't just in a dangerous neighborhood, you're in the gears of a machine that doesn't care if you get caught in the teeth. Keep your engine running and your eyes on the mirror. In Oak Haven, the only thing moving faster than the cargo is the risk. Number 2, Miami, Arizona.
They got
A false promise in the
Arizona?
desert.
I did not know that.
Miami, Arizona is not what the name suggests. There are no beaches, no palm trees, no ocean air. Miami sits in the high desert of eastern Arizona, surrounded by open-pit copper mines and steep, exposed hillsides. The town exists because of mining, and it has struggled because of it. When copper prices rise, Miami holds on. When they fall, the town contracts. Decades of extraction have left behind environmental damage, limited economic diversity, and a population that has steadily declined. Miami is small, but it doesn't feel simple. In this compact pocket of desert landscape,
But you
the
can
city's
tell
overall
that's stuff
crime
like
rate
that
is reported
old,
at roughly
man.
56.5
You can
incidents
tell
per
this is based
1,000
off an
residents
old
in a
place.
typical year. At the same time, Miami struggles with a poverty rate of about 32%, adding another layer of strain to a town with few economic buffers. This is not a violent place in the traditional sense. It is a disorienting one. Gas stations here don't feel unsafe. They feel out of place, isolated, underused, and serving a community that no longer knows what comes next. Miami makes this list not because of spectacle or chaos, but because it represents something more subtle than crime. It's the gap between a name and a reality, a reminder that branding, history, and hope don't always survive contact with economics.
Facts they don't.
Number 1, Taos, New
New
Mexico.
Mexico.
Systemic
in the United
failure
States?
beneath beauty. Taos is often described as a refuge. For generations, artists, writers, and seekers have been coming here, drawn by the light, the landscape, and the promise of a different kind of life. On the surface, Taos looks successful. The galleries are full, the homes are expensive, and the town appears to have preserved its identity in a way few places have. But that version of Taos is not the one most people live in. This is not a city breaking down with violent statistics or chaos, but per capita, Taos is one of the most violent small towns in the entire Southwest. The violent crime rate here is roughly double the national average, and property crime, specifically burglary and theft, is a constant looming threat.
That's crazy.
What makes Taos the most dangerous stop on this list is the architecture of neglect. It is a town allergic to basic infrastructure, spotty lighting, fragmented police jurisdiction, and emergency response times that stretch dangerously thin because help is often miles away. Beneath the image is a deep economic divide. Wages lag far behind housing costs. Longtime residents are priced out of the communities they grew up in. Much of the surrounding population lives without reliable infrastructure, limited access to running water, electricity, or consistent employment. Taos is number one not because it is dangerous, but because it reveals something harder to confront, that even the most beautiful places can hide systems that no longer work for the people who call them home. When a town prioritizes its aesthetic over its stability, the gaps are filled by the desperate. Taos is proof that you can pay luxury prices for a lifestyle that requires you to lock your soul every time the sun goes down. These towns are not anomalies. They are mirrors. They reflect what happens when industry leaves, when the law fails, when wealth passes through without stopping. They show the other side of America, not the land of skyscrapers and opportunity, but of forgotten communities and broken promises. So the next time you see a quiet town on a road trip, remember, quiet is sometimes not peace. Sometimes
I've always said that, bro. If somewhere is quiet, if it's quiet as hell, I don't want to be there. Quiet is scary. Real. And sometimes, bro, quiet speaks loudly. Very, very loudly. You don't want to be somewhere where it's too quiet. You don't want to be in an atmosphere where it's you know what I'm saying? Yeah. With that being said, we're going to end this video here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the road to 800 subscribers, man. Let's get to it. No.